There's a secret world beneath the surface of human interaction, a world of hidden weaknesses, unseen vulnerabilities, and unspoken desires. A world where most men fail, not because they are unworthy, but because they are blind to what truly moves a woman's heart, mind, and soul. You see, strength isn't about dominance. Power isn't about control. True mastery over relationships, over life itself, comes from understanding, from seeing what others ignore, from recognizing the hidden weaknesses in women that they will never admit, yet subtly reveal in every glance, every word, every hesitation. Today, we unveil 10 of these weaknesses, 10 truths that can transform your understanding of women, relationships, and yourself. But be warned, once you see them, you can never unsee them. This knowledge will either make you wiser, or it will consume you. A woman may never say it outright, but deep down, she craves leadership. Not dictatorship, not arrogance, but direction, a sense of certainty. A man who knows where he is going, not just in life, but in every moment of interaction. Society tells us that women want equality in every sense, and in many ways they do. But what's often left unspoken is this: a woman is drawn to a man who leads with quiet confidence, a man who makes decisions effortlessly, who carries himself with a sense of purpose, who provides a path she can walk alongside, not because she is weak, but because it allows her to embrace her own feminine nature fully. This is why indecision is one of the biggest killers of attraction. A man who hesitates too much, who constantly asks for permission, who lacks direction. He unknowingly creates an invisible weight on a woman's soul. She may not even understand why, but she will begin to pull away. But here's the paradox. A woman will often test a man's leadership by challenging his authority, questioning his decisions, or even acting in ways that seem defiant. This isn't because she wants to take over. It's because she wants to feel his strength. She wants to know that, despite her challenges, he remains unshaken. A Stoic man understands this. He does not react emotionally. He does not bend at every test. He remains composed, making decisions with clarity and purpose. Because deep down, every woman yearns for a man who can guide without control, who can lead without force. And this leads us to the second hidden weakness, a vulnerability that even the most independent women cannot escape. Despite the modern narrative of absolute self-sufficiency, there is a hidden paradox within every strong, independent woman, a silent yearning for something deeper than independence. The illusion of complete self-reliance is just that, an illusion. Society has conditioned women to believe that they must be everything at once. Powerful yet soft, independent yet nurturing, ambitious yet emotionally available. It is an impossible balancing act. And the truth, no woman, no matter how successful, is entirely self-sufficient. This is where most men fail to see beneath the surface. They assume that because a woman says she doesn't need a man, she actually means it in every sense. But words and reality often contradict each other. A woman may claim independence, but deep down, she longs for a safe space to rest, to surrender, to trust. Not surrender in the sense of submission, but in the sense of emotional security. A place where she doesn't have to constantly prove herself, where she doesn't have to compete, where she can let go of the weight she carries in the outside world. But here's the catch. She will never openly admit this weakness. Why? Because modern conditioning has told her that admitting this makes her weak. So instead, she will test you. She will act as if she doesn't need you, as if she is unshakable. And if you believe that facade, If you take her words at face value, you will fail her. This is where a Stoic man thrives. He doesn't need to fight her independence or argue against it. He simply remains grounded, unshaken. He does not get offended when she asserts her strength, because he knows that strength is not the absence of need. It is the ability to choose vulnerability with the right man. A woman who feels safe with you will naturally let her guard down. But the moment you try to force it, the moment you seek validation for your own insecurity, she will retreat. Women respect men who do not chase approval, who do not seek to be needed, but instead provide something far more valuable, a presence that allows her to feel at ease. And this leads us to the next hidden weakness, a delicate truth that few men understand, yet it governs nearly every emotional reaction a woman has. Every woman, no matter how composed she appears, carries within her an ever-changing emotional landscape. One moment she may radiate joy and affection. The next, she may seem distant and cold. Most men make the mistake of assuming that these shifts in mood are purely situational, triggered by something external. But the truth is deeper. A woman's emotions are often an internal storm, one that even she may not fully understand. Unlike men who tend to compartmentalize emotions, women experience feelings as an interconnected web. A small argument from last week can resurface in today's conversation. A passing comment you made days ago may suddenly become the reason for her frustration now. Logic does not always dictate her emotions. Her emotions dictate her reality. This is where weak men falter. They react. They take her moods personally. They try to fix what isn't broken, thinking that if they can just say the right thing or do the right gesture, she will return to her calm state. But the truth is, a woman does not need you to fix her emotions. She needs you to withstand them. A Stoic man understands that a woman's emotions are like waves. They rise, they crash, they retreat. He does not get lost in them, nor does he resist them. He simply remains, like an immovable rock in the sea. He does not try to match her intensity, nor does he flee from it. Instead, he provides the one thing she craves but rarely admits: stability. When she is overwhelmed by her own emotions, the last thing she needs is a man who mirrors her chaos. She needs grounding, a presence that is unshaken, a reminder that no matter how turbulent her emotions may feel, she is safe. But here's the hidden weakness. Women do not always know how to ask for this. They won't say, "I need you to be strong for me right now." Instead, they will test your patience. They will push. They will provoke. They will see if you truly stand firm, or if you crumble under the weight of their emotions. Most men react impulsively. They argue, they withdraw, or they become defensive. A Stoic man, he listens, he observes, he remains composed, and in doing so, he provides the one thing that no amount of gifts, words, or gestures can replace: emotional security. And once a woman feels truly secure with you, it unlocks another hidden weakness, one that is tied to her deepest fears and desires. A hidden battle rages within every woman, though she may never openly acknowledge it. A battle between strength and softness, between independence and the quiet yearning to surrender to her feminine nature. Society tells her to be bold, to be competitive, to match men in every way. But deep within, she fears losing touch with the very essence that makes her a woman. Modern culture glorifies the independent woman, fierce, unshaken, untouchable. And while there is power in that image, there is also a silent suffering that comes with it. Because to embrace this role fully, a woman often suppresses her natural femininity. She is taught to reject vulnerability, to see softness as a weakness, to equate submission with oppression. But here's the paradox. A woman cannot feel truly alive if she is disconnected from her femininity. No matter how successful she becomes, no matter how strong she appears, there's always a part of her that longs to be seen, cherished, and allowed to be soft. This is where most men fail. They assume that if a woman presents herself as strong, she wants to lead in all areas of life. But the truth is, many women crave a man who gives them permission to embrace their femininity, to feel safe enough to soften, to express emotions freely without fear of judgment. A Stoic man understands this hidden struggle. He does not see a strong woman as competition. He does not try to dominate her, nor does he shrink in her presence. Instead, he provides a space where she can relax into her natural state. When a woman feels she must always be in control, always be the decision maker, always be guarded, she begins to resent it. Not consciously, but deep down, it drains her. The moment she meets a man who is strong enough to lead, calm enough to listen, and confident enough to handle her emotions without fear, she will begin to trust. And when a woman trusts, she reveals her true self. The walls fall, the need for control fades, and for the first time, she can breathe. But there is one more hidden weakness, one that runs even deeper than her femininity, a fear that haunts every woman, no matter how much she denies it. Beneath all the strength, confidence, and independence that a woman projects, there exists a silent, unspoken fear, the fear of being forgotten. A woman's greatest emotional wounds often stem from feeling unseen, unappreciated, or replaceable. Unlike men who find their worth in achievement and purpose, a woman's sense of value is deeply tied to how she is perceived by those she loves. This is why small acts of neglect can hurt her more than direct confrontation. A missed compliment, a lack of attention, a subtle shift in how you look at her. She notices everything, and if she feels like she is fading into the background of your life, he sees the woman before him, not just as she is, but as she is becoming. He reminds her, not with empty words, but with his presence, with the way he looks at her, with the way he touches her, as if nothing about her has faded, as if in his eyes time has only deepened her allure. Because a woman who feels truly seen, who feels that her beauty is recognized beyond the surface, will give herself to that man in a way that no one else ever could. But beneath this fear lies an even deeper vulnerability, one that is rooted in a woman's most primal need, connection. And when this need is unmet, it leads to the one thing that no man wants to face. A woman may be drawn to a man's strength, his confidence, his leadership, but if he lacks emotional depth, she will eventually feel empty in his presence. You see, women do not just connect through words or actions. They connect through emotion. The depth of a man's soul, his ability to express, to feel, to understand beyond the surface. This is what truly captivates a woman's heart. Most men assume that being strong means being emotionally distant, that to maintain attraction they must suppress vulnerability, avoid deep conversations, and remain an enigma. And while mystery is powerful, emotional emptiness is a death sentence to desire. A woman may be patient. She may overlook the lack of connection for a time, but eventually she will crave more. If a man cannot engage her emotionally, if he cannot make her feel, she will begin to withdraw. Not always physically, but mentally, spiritually, until one day she is simply no longer present. But here's where the hidden weakness lies. Women do not just want a man who listens. They want a man who understands, a man who sees beyond their words, who senses the unspoken emotions beneath their surface, who is present enough to catch the meaning behind a simple glance, a quiet sigh, a lingering silence. A Stoic man does not avoid emotion. He masters it. He does not become overly reactive, nor does he close himself off. Instead, he meets a woman in the depths of her emotions without drowning in them. He holds space for her feelings without needing to fix them. He remains composed, yet engaged, open, yet unshaken. And this is what separates ordinary men from unforgettable ones. A woman will never fully give herself to a man who lacks emotional depth. She may stay. She may play the role expected of her, but deep inside, she will yearn for something more. And if she cannot find it in you, she will begin to seek it elsewhere, in another man, in her work, in distractions, in fantasies. But there is one final weakness that surpasses them all. A weakness so powerful that if a man fails to understand it, he will always lose the woman he loves, no matter how attractive, wealthy, or powerful he may be. A woman's love is not static. It is alive, ever-changing, evolving with time. And her greatest hidden weakness: she cannot stay in love with a man who remains the same. In the early stages of attraction, everything is fresh. New experiences, deep conversations, an endless sense of discovery. But as time passes, as routines settle in, many men make the fatal mistake of becoming stagnant. They assume that once they have won a woman's heart, the work is done, that they can relax, that she will always see them the way she did in the beginning. But a woman's heart does not work that way. She falls in love with a man's potential as much as his presence. If she senses that he is growing, evolving, pushing himself towards something greater, she will remain captivated by him. But the moment she feels that he has settled, that he has lost his fire, she will begin to lose respect. And once respect fades, attraction soon follows. This is why so many relationships crumble without a clear reason. The passion fades, not because love was lost, but because the man stopped becoming someone worth loving. He became predictable. He stopped challenging himself. He stopped being the man who inspired her in the first place. A Stoic man understands this truth. He does not grow complacent. He continues to sharpen his mind, to refine his body, to expand his spirit, not to impress her, not to keep her, but because growth is his very nature. He does not chase her attention. He commands it by his very existence. And here's the paradox. The more a man grows, the more a woman fears losing him. If she sees him rising, evolving, becoming more than he was before, she will naturally cling to him, not out of insecurity, but because she knows she is with a man who is rare, a man who will not be easily replaced. But the moment a man stops growing, the moment he settles into mediocrity, he forces the woman to either accept a lesser version of him or to seek inspiration elsewhere. And if she must choose between staying in a stagnant love or chasing something that reignites her spirit, she will always choose the latter. Even unintentionally, she will begin to pull away. But here's what most men misunderstand. A woman's fear of being forgotten is not about vanity or insecurity. It is about emotional connection. She doesn't just want to be loved. She wants to be remembered. She wants to know that the moments she shares with you matter. that she is more than just another chapter in your life, but an essential part of your story. This is why deep eye contact, unexpected gestures, and thoughtful words have such a profound effect on women, because they show her that she is seen, that she is more than just a passing presence in your life, that she lingers in your thoughts, in your heart, even when she is not around. A Stoic man does not take a woman's presence for granted. He understands that love is not about grand gestures, but about consistency. A woman who feels seen, who feels cherished in small ways every day, will give herself completely. But a woman who feels invisible, who feels like she is slowly fading from your life, will begin to detach long before she ever says a word. And once detachment begins, it awakens another hidden weakness, one that most men fail to recognize until it is too late. A woman lives in a constant internal conflict, the battle between craving excitement and needing security. She longs for a man who makes her feel safe, but at the same time, she fears the dullness that often comes with stability. Many men believe that providing a woman with unwavering security, financial, emotional, and relational, will be enough to keep her. They assume that if they eliminate all chaos, all unpredictability, she will remain forever satisfied. But security alone is not enough. Why? Because desire thrives in the unknown. Passion is born in tension. If a woman feels too safe, too certain, too settled, she begins to feel numb. She may not consciously recognize it at first, but slowly, the spark fades. The fire that once burned between you becomes a quiet warmth, comfortable, but no longer exciting. On the other hand, men who only focus on excitement, who are unpredictable, unreliable, or emotionally unavailable, ignite passion, but they fail to provide the foundation a woman needs to trust. She may crave them, but will never fully surrender to them. So where does the balance lie? A Stoic man understands that security and desire must exist together. He provides certainty, but he also remains unpredictable in ways that matter. He does not let routine dull his presence. He continues to challenge her, to surprise her, to evoke emotion without ever becoming chaotic. This is why masculine mystery is so powerful. A man who remains slightly unreadable, who holds depth that she has yet to fully explore, keeps her intrigued. He is reliable, yet there is always something about him that keeps her guessing, not through manipulation, but through mastery of self. A woman's greatest fear is not just losing love, it is losing passion. If she feels too safe, she becomes restless. If she feels too uncertain, she becomes anxious. But a man who walks the fine line between these two forces, he becomes unforgettable. But even deeper than this struggle lies another hidden weakness, one that is rooted in her deepest fears about time, beauty, and the fleeting nature of attraction. No matter how confident or self-assured a woman appears, she carries an unspoken fear, one that grows stronger with time. The fear that one day she will no longer be seen as beautiful. From a young age, society ties a woman's value to her appearance. Compliments flood in when she is youthful, fresh, and vibrant. Strangers smile at her, doors are opened, attention is effortlessly given. But deep inside, she knows this won't last forever. Unlike men who are often valued for their accomplishments, their wisdom, or their strength, a woman is constantly reminded that her beauty is fleeting. Every wrinkle, every change in her body, every sign of aging feels like a countdown to invisibility. She may not admit it, she may even laugh it off, but the thought lingers. Will I still be wanted when I am no longer young? This fear explains so much about female behavior, why she invests in her looks, why compliments mean so much to her, why the loss of attraction in a relationship cuts deeper than words. She does not just want to be loved. She wants to be desired, even as time passes. And this is where most men fail. Many assume that once they have won a woman's heart, they no longer need to remind her of her beauty. They stop noticing the little details, the way her eyes glow in certain light, the way her laughter brightens a room. They assume she already knows. But here's the truth. She never stops needing to hear it. Even the most stunning woman, the most confident, the most admired, she still wonders if she is enough. A Stoic man understands this weakness, not to exploit it, but to honor it. He does not see beauty as something temporary, tied only to youth, because a woman's deepest weakness is this: she cannot stay where she does not feel alive. And that brings us to the final, most powerful truth, the one hidden weakness that defines whether a woman stays forever or walks away without looking back. Beneath all the layers of strength, independence, and emotional complexity, a woman's deepest, most hidden weakness is this: she longs to surrender, not in the way society misinterprets, not as submission to control, but as a surrender to a man worthy of her trust. This is the one truth most men will never understand. They assume women want power, dominance, or constant attention. But the reality? A woman's greatest desire is to let go, completely, fully, without fear. But here's the catch. She cannot surrender to just any man. She cannot allow herself to be vulnerable with someone who is weak, unsure, or easily shaken. She cannot trust a man who seeks her approval more than he seeks his own path. She needs to feel that the man in front of her is grounded in something greater than her emotions, stronger than her storms, unshaken by her tests. Only then, when she knows deep in her soul that she is safe, can she finally let go. This is why women test men, why they challenge, push, and even provoke. Not because they want to control, but because they need to know if the man they are with is truly unshakable. If he reacts, if he wavers, if he seeks validation, she knows he is not the one. A Stoic man understands this. He does not seek to control a woman. He seeks to master himself. He does not demand surrender. He earns it by his presence, his strength, his unwavering sense of purpose. Because when a woman finds a man like this, a man who stands firm in himself, who does not bend to the chaos of the world, who leads with quiet confidence, she will surrender willingly. She will give him a level of devotion, passion, and loyalty that no weak man will ever experience. And this is the greatest irony of all. Women appear complicated, but in truth, they seek something very simple. A man who does not chase them. A man who does not crumble under their emotions. A man who does not lose himself in the pursuit of pleasing them. Because when a woman meets a man who is truly unshakable, she will finally feel free. And that, my friend, is the final and greatest hidden weakness. A woman's desire to be led by a man who does not need her, yet chooses her above all. This is the essence of attraction. This is the key to love that lasts. And this is the power that most men will never understand. The question is, will you?